All right, so this is the last video I'm going to go over today. And I wanted to go over classifying flips. So getting back up to here, um, I want to try to go through kind of some 1 through 5s. I've done this the other day, but I just want to go through this again so we are all on the same page. All right, so again, going over this overview, number one is a property that really you can just carpet and paint. The kitchen and bathrooms are pretty usable. You don't see any other major issues with the house. Number two is your normal cosmetic flip. So it needs, and again, this is built usually in the 1975s plus. Your twos and threes are usually built between 1940 and 1970, and a normal cosmetic flip in that age range, typically, not always, right? This is typical, normal realm. Your normal cosmetic flip would be carpet, paint, kitchen, and bathrooms. Okay. Now, if that house, this normal cosmetic flip, needs windows, HVAC, roof, landscaping disaster, so on and so forth, any one of those issues, you're immediately going to move it into a number three, okay? Because those things are additional cost rehab numbers that we have to account for. And so we're going to put it into a number three. And then if that number three, this seems like it needs everything. It needs a driveway, it needs a roof, it needs windows, it needs siding, it needs everything, like more than just one or two items. You can push maybe three here, but once you, and I'll probably make that change here because that is, because if you did have three items, you can just go on the heavier end of the rehab and account for that. But if it just needs everything, then we're into a number four flip. Usually these are built in the early 1900s, but that doesn't mean that you can run across a 1940s house that needs a new roof, needs new windows, the plumbing's bad, the septic system is out, so on and so forth. You can use number four for that. I'd also use number four for any high-end flip, $1 million plus. That puts your rehab numbers right there. Okay, so you know, maybe I'll make that change too. A very rough flip, 1 million plus. Okay, so that really clarifies that. And then we get into the worst of the worst, number five. These are the firehouses, fire damaged houses. It notes meth lab use or has structural. That just moves into a whole nother range of rehab fixes. I mean, you can easily dump $80,000 on a structural fix so that's why our rehab numbers are so much higher here. Okay, so that is our overview. So let's go ahead and just go through. Let's go through like 10 flips. So here's the first one. So already we can see a landscaping disaster. Looks like the windows are good. So the inside's actually pretty nice. As I can tell, the windows are vinyl. If they're aluminum, you can see them. They'll usually be silver, right? But inside is actually really nice. I would replace this kitchen. This kitchen is original. So we're already into number two and probably a number three, just based on that landscaping outside. The doors are newer, I mean brand new, so you don't have to replace those. The walls are good. Basement definitely needs flooring. These are aluminum. You can see that is aluminum window. Okay, you can tell by the latches. These little tiny metal latches sticking out, those are aluminum. Okay, I want to go through that again because I think that is missed a lot. Those little metal latches, that indicates that's an aluminum window. You can tell those are silver. Okay, if they're the white vinyl, let's go back to look at that, are bigger, they're fatter, and they have latches like this. Okay, so that's how you can tell by the pictures. All right, so we're already into number three. We know it. The basement probably needs some finishing done. Um, and the landscaping is pretty bad, right? So, but it's not a bad property, right? That's a actual looks pretty good. It just needs to be cleaned up. Okay, so if you wanted to double check to see if there's any noted structural, you can just scan that real fast. I'm just going to scan this real fast. Nothing there for structural, so that is a level three house. All right, let's move on. So I'm going to do thumbnail just because it makes it easier to flip through these. This could be a level 1. Let's take a look. So I'm thinking level 1. Let's get, yeah. So that kitchen is usable. Those cabinets are usable. Might need to switch out appliances. That's okay. Windows are new. Those are vinyl. We are into a level 1 house. Pretty solid. This kitchen is or bathroom is a little icky. It might need to be replaced, but it's livable, right? It's fairly new. Um, so basement's finished somewhat. That that is a little bit. I would be on the heavier end for sure on a level 1, or a very very light end of a level 2 on the rehab numbers because you don't have the ceiling's not finished. That is some money, right? So, whoa, I don't know what's going on there. Uh, anyways, let's move that into a level 2, but very light, right? So, what I mean by that is that is on the cusp of a level 1 to a level 2. So, if I'm going to classify that as a level 1, then and that was a, let's say 2,000 square foot house. We're not going to get too far in it. It's 2,500 square foot. So we are into, let's say level 1, 2,500 square foot, 55,000. I'd be on the heavier end on a level 1. I'd say that's 65,000. So we could label it as a level 1. Just make sure you're on the heavier end of the rehab of 65,000. Or if you're going to do a level 2, um, yeah, it might be better to stick with that level 1, but yeah, just be on the very low end of 70,000, right? I think 65 is a pretty good number for that. So let's move on. So level 1, heavy on the rehab, right? So you kind of see where I'm going with that. This looks pretty new. I think that's been flipped. So I just pulled up flip and the criteria. I don't think you guys care about what I'm doing here, but if you put this with these little stars around a certain word, then you get all the matches that have that in the public data, the public remarks, and you'll get most of the properties that have been flipped. All right, so let's take a look at this guy. So this looks like a number 3 to me. Right out of the gate, you're going to be replacing the kitchen, probably the bathrooms. Yep, yep, right. Windows look good. So that's a 2 or 3. I'm going to move that into a 3 because it has an unfinished basement. All right, so that's a 3. Most of our properties are going to be 2s and 3s. That's been flipped. I don't know. That might be a really, really good one. Let's see. I wouldn't even call this a flip. That's really clean. So let's move on. Let's see, here we go. That's been flipped. So this has one picture. We've been making a lot of assumptions here on this, but if you're really not sure, just go middle of the road, do 3, right? This is the only picture we got. You can read the public remarks, see what they say. Um, they don't tell you anything, right? So I would just automatically label it at 3. All right, I'm gonna pause this, try to speed this up. Pretty solid one. A little concern here. You got looks like some cracks I think the garage door is just off put. But getting into this house, this looks like a pretty solid level 1, right? Pretty clean in there, livable in there. You can paint the cabinets and bathrooms. You can paint those and clean those up. This is a solid level 1. All right. Well, basement's unfinished. So if you're comping this property to properties that have finished basements, you immediately need to move this into a level 3. Finishing out a basement is a lot of work. All right. But if you move it into a level 3, your rehab numbers are going to be spot on for finishing that basement. All right. So again, when you are looking at this should say in here, right over here. I don't know why that's well. You can see at the very end, unfinished basement. I can't get my cursor over there. So that would immediately move it into a level 3. All right, so this is the next one I'm looking at. They don't have any external photos. I don't know why they do that. They show you the worst here. This is a pretty solid level 3. I had to pull it up, Google it to see the exterior. Looks like vinyl windows, right? Um, looks pretty clean out there. It's Niagara. Let's clean this up a little bit. But it needs new kitchen. Windows are older. Or wait, no, those are vinyl. I'm sorry. I already said that. Needs kitchen and bathrooms. So this is between a 2 and 3, right? I would say it's a 3 because you're probably going to open up this kitchen to make this thing flow a little bit better. So that's what most people are going to look at with their rehab numbers. So going back to this, we are into a level 3 if we need to open things up. So let me see. Let me read this to you because I can't put my cursor over it. Normal cosmetic flip with only one or two major items. Windows, a window, roof replacement, layout issues. If there's layout issues, then we would put it into a number 3. If it doesn't have, if it's nothing, if it's only carpet, paint, replacing kitchen and bathroom, it's a level 2. If you need to do anything else, like this one, you got to open up that kitchen, right? It's pretty, you can see that this is pretty, it's a galley kitchen. You need to open that up. All right, I'm gonna move on and check a few more. One external photo is all we got. You can see the gutters coming off here. You probably have to replace roof. I would just go with the level 3. That's a level 3 flip right out of the gate for me. This one looks like a pretty solid level 2. Has vinyl windows. You can see the white windows. Roof, everything looks pretty clean. Getting in the house is actually really clean. Just look at that concrete real fast. Some breakage there, but nothing major. I would still keep it as a level 2. I mean, look at inside of it. You can reuse the floors. You can update that kitchen pretty easily. I would not, maybe not even replace the cabinets, but I mean that's a solid level 2, if not a level 1 house, right? Gosh. Um, Unfinished basement. If you're using comps that you have finished basements, you'd have to move it to a level 3. Now this one is so clean upstairs. If you did it at a level 2 and you, I'm just going to show you different ways you can do this. It'd probably be easier just to move it into a level 3 and use the lower of the numbers. So this one is 2,100 square foot. So the way I'd go about this one, I'd probably keep it as a level 2 because it is really clean inside. It does need the basement. Not much of one, but let's go ahead and just go to level 3 because that keeps it consistent with how we label things. But we would go level 3, but we'd be on the lower end of these rehab numbers. So that is 2,100 square foot. So we would probably, I'd go right to that 90. Yeah, or I wish I could go lower. I might play at those numbers, but if you did that, I wouldn't fault you for it. I might adjust that down just a little bit so you have a little more, because I would like to be around 85. You see how these numbers are going to change just a little bit? These ranges will change. I did it right here in front of you. So going back, I'm going to look at maybe one or two more and call this good. All right, so this one I'd fall in between a 2 and 3. So it's a newer build, so you'd think maybe go for a 1, but gosh, it's just in rough shape. So, you're going to have to scrape the popcorn off. The vinyl windows are good. Definitely need to replace the kitchen. Very dated kitchen. Bathroom, probably need to be replacing cabinets and bathrooms. You got this is a laundry room. I don't know if looks like that's a finished basement though. So you could go with the 2 on this. Siding looks pretty rough. It's definitely a little bit of a rougher 2, but yeah, I'd go with a rough 2 on that. So again, going back to this 2,000 square foot, we go to 2,000 square foot. I'd probably be at 75 on this one for rehab. is not terrible, right? So around 75. So let me move on. All right, so this one, you're immediately going to go to a level 5. So when you first look at it, you can see the driveway's all busted up, but it looks like they have vinyl windows in. So let's start flipping through this. So I'm already thinking level 2 or 3, right? Because level 2 for sure. 3 needs to replace a furnace, so you're already at a 3. And boom, here's where we're at, where we start to see this is structural stuff, right? This is heaving, big cracks. We're at a level 5 already on this. Look at that. They got braces in here. So this is a structural fix. This is a level 5. All right. They are letting you know that this thing has structural issues. So going at our structural, we're at 2,300 square foot, level 5, 23. We know we're probably around this 155. I would say that's a little steep for a 2,000 square foot. I'm adjusting numbers because I built this at a whim, but now I've got to start um, really fine tuning these numbers. I'll be doing this all the time. So I guess let me just point this out. Whenever you see me email the sheet out to you guys, just automatically trash the old one, go with the new one, okay? Because you know that I've redone these numbers. All right. So that's it. I'm going to stop there because I'm already at 16 minutes. And if we need more videos on classifying flips, I'll do those, but we'll pick that up as you go along. I think you guys will probably have a pretty good grasp of this.